Hey guys, this is week 37 of my series titled 52 Weeks of Reaper. Every week for 52 weeks, I'll be releasing a new video focusing on a key feature in Reaper. So let's jump right in. So for this week, our topic and our focus will be items. So you're going to be dealing with items on the arrangement window right over here. And the two most common types of items will be audio items and also MIDI items. So we got MIDI items down here in purple, and we have our audio items. Pretty basic stuff. With audio items, we have them in mono, we can have them in stereo, we can also have them in multi-channel mode. For audio items, let's look at the types that are available. So let's go to Insert and go Media File. And we have this window opening up here. And down here where it says All Supported Media Files, we're gonna hit this and we're gonna get this menu opened up here. And we see all the different file types here, both audio and MIDI. And if you notice here, they also support image files such as GIF, and Reaper does also support video. So we see all the common audio formats here: WAV, AIFF, we have FLAC. I'm not going to go through naming all of these, but you see everything that's here. It even now supports web image files, which is very new. So they're always improving and adding the different formats that Windows does support. We see here we have some very popular and common video formats with the QuickTime files: MOV, QT, M4V, MP4, M4A. So yes, Reaper can import and edit video, but I'm never going to talk about that because we're focusing on music and music production. At the end, I'll kind of talk about what I like about the video support compared to other things that I've dealt with in the past. But this video is not going to be a long video. So let's look at one of the other file types, and that is an empty item. So with this arrangement here, let's take a quick listen to it. All right, so we got a little idea here. And at the end, we have it do this. So we have a little delay at the end, which gives us a tail. And the tail goes on a little bit past the end of the last item. So why that's important is, for me, sometimes when I'm rendering, I need the render to go past, and there are different ways to do it. And when I say I need the render to go past, I need it to not stop and cut off right here when this last media item ends. Because when you set Reaper to render the entire project, I touched on this 2 weeks ago when we talked about rendering, it will cut off that tail because it's going to stop rendering right at the end of this media file right here. But we have sound still going. So if I turn on looping, we can see that we need it to play to about here. So what I usually do for that, and this is not the only way to do it, this is just the quick and dirty way that I do it. I will highlight this section here. I will make sure, let's say this top track, the kick, it doesn't matter which track, but I'm going to use the top track, the kick track. Make sure it's highlighted. Then I'm going to right click in this section and I'm going to select Insert Empty Item. Now, my menu has been customized to add this. We'll talk about customizing your menus in weeks to come. So I have it in this right click menu. but by default, you're not going to have this option in this right-click menu. For you, you will have to go up to Insert and then select Empty Item. I don't want to have to do that, so I customized my right-click menu for the arrangement screen so that that option is right there. So I do that, and it's going to drop in an empty item based on which track I had highlighted, and it's going to fill out that range that I have selected. So let's delete that. If I had a smaller range selected and I right click and I selected insert empty item, then the item is going to be the length of that range. Now I can extend this range. I can do whatever I want with this empty item. It is a dummy item. It doesn't generate any sound, and it's just a blank slate to hold a spot. Now, some of the things that you can do with it, you can use it as an arrangement tool. So sometimes I use it to add notes. I can open up this note area by hitting this icon right here, and it allows me to add a note. So let's see what I want to add. I have some chord progressions, so let's paste that in. So now that information is there, and I can hit OK, and it'll now be here. And if you open this up, you can actually see it. So you can use this as an arrangement tool on a top track. You can color it, you can add notes to it, so it can just say chorus, bridge, verse, and you can use it as an arrangement tool, extend it as long as you want, as short as you want. You can use it as a visual tool to help label the different parts of your song if you choose to. So seeing this arrangement, I created a track here at the top, labeled it guide track, and I'm just putting empty audio items up top here with labeling by just clicking on the note icon, and then you can go down here to the option and set it to stretch image text. Hit apply, hit OK. And based on the vertical zoom of the track, you'll get nice big visual showing you the different parts. If I want, I can right click and go to item and take color and hit set to random color. And I can color these just to give me more visual cues and aesthetics to the different parts instead of just having everything gray. But you can utilize it in this way. You can actually add an image to this if you want to. So you can create one here. Let's say create one here. Insert empty item, just drag that up. And when you hit the note button, there's an option here to load an image, and you can browse to an image. Let's see what we have here. Image, and I can load this image in here. Hit apply, it shows up here. So it's there. So you can load images if you want to. So what I'm gonna use this empty item to allow this to play all the way out so that I get that delay to decay off before it cuts off the render. And then based on how long I extend this, when this ends, that's where the render will end. So sometimes I use this method just to make sure I get an extension of my render, because when it's time for me to render, I don't have to come in, zoom in, and start dragging and then dragging all the way to the beginning. I can just now click anywhere in the arrangement screen, hit Control A to select everything, hit my keyboard shortcut to create a loop section over whatever items are selected, and now I will have the full range of my track selected and ready for rendering. So to wrap up the video, like I said before, you can import video and you can import image files. So let me just show that really quickly. I'm just gonna drag an image file and I can put it on any track. It doesn't matter. I can put it on a new track or I can put it on an existing track. So this is just an image file. And to see the actual image, you would go to View, and then you would go to Video, and that's gonna open up the video monitor. So any type of image or video, you'll open this to actually see it. And once the playhead is over it, you will see it. So this is just a still image, and you can extend it for how long you want it to remain on the screen. And now let's drag in video. So let's grab this video file. This is my logo animated. Once again, you can put that on any track. There is audio on this file, and let's play it. So you can edit videos in Reaper, and like I said, I'm not gonna talk about that, but that's pretty much it, guys. Items in Reaper, that's some of the flexibility as far as type of items you can import and utilize in Reaper. The video is pretty much over, and I'm gonna just talk about video for a little bit. So in this DAW that I used to use, I'm not gonna call it out because this was bad. I used to have to do a mix for almost 10 years. It was a weekly mix, pretty big mix, like 40 files, 40 audio files. It was a live band, bunch of singers, and I had to do this mix every week. And while mixing, I would also have to edit the video for the actual audio. So I would get a rough cut of the video and then bring it into the DAW to start to tailor the mix to the visuals, so that if I cut to somebody on keyboard or on guitar, you're actually hearing the instrument. And it's not a situation where, because the mix is so dense and there's a lot going on, you could tend to lose an instrument. So I wanted to make sure that with the visual, when we do cut to the guitarist and he's just grooving, not soloing, just grooving, you can actually hear that in the video. So a little bit of automation is happening in your mix, which is something that's very important. That's always supposed to be happening in your mix. That's how you get a good mix. Automation is very important throughout the song, because the levels are not going to all work at one static position throughout your whole song. So that workflow was something that was very important to me, to be able to import the video and then finish up my mix and automation based on the shots that I'm looking at in my DAW. The other DAW that I was using before using Reaper to do that, it was a nightmare to line up the track with the video, the audio tracks with the video, because the way they did it was you don't see the video on the timeline. You drag it into the project, a screen pops up showing you the visuals, but it's like you're not seeing it. But to visualize it is just basically, it starts at the beginning and that's it. So if your audio is not lined up at the beginning, you can't really see the physical clip to shift it and line it up, because it doesn't exist on the arrangement screen as a physical clip represented that you can move around like the other audio clips on the arrangement screen. You just get a video window like the one we just saw showing you the video, and the only way you can adjust it is you had to go into some weird setting, I forgot where it was, and you had to shift the video off by milliseconds until you got it lined up. And it was the most backwards and tedious thing ever. And these are the things that I'm always talking about where I'm like, why did you implement this way? No other DAW does this. Any DAW that allows you to import video, it allows you to actually see the clip represented on the arrangement screen with the other audio clips, and you can slide it around if you need to line it up. So if you're doing sound design, voiceover work, Foley work with video, you want to be able to see the video and line it up. So if you need to move something and just nudge it with the mouse or with a keyboard shortcut, you should be able to. But with this program, it gave you no visual representation of the file. It just popped up a video window, and the video just starts at the beginning when you start playing the track. So once you start playing the track, it just starts the video. And it was just like, okay. And to adjust it, you had to bring up this weird window with milliseconds, and then you had to either shift it to negative or positive milliseconds and keep nudging it until you got to keep changing the number until it felt right, lined up. And it was a bit of a nightmare because of how the audio files were, because my audio files started recording 2 minutes before anything started. So I never had like a sync start point with the video and the audio. So it was just, it just was bad. When it was time to line it up, it was very tedious and I hated it. So when I started doing it in Reaper, it was just a breath of fresh air because it was simple. It made sense. I dragged the file in, it's there, and I could physically grab the clip on the timeline and line it up with the audio and then go. It took me like 5 seconds to line everything up. So that's my little rant for this video. The implementation of files in Reaper is very standard, very basic. It makes sense. It's what everybody is doing. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, you'll see me in the next video.